The Moon in the Dark, written by Tetsuro. Chapter 12. Love and Tolerance. As Wuna woke, she smiled happily. She was certain that today would be a good day. Climbing happily out of Sans' jacket, she shook herself off and prepared to make her way further through Snowden.
Sans?
Papyrus called out as he raced up to the pair.
There is a problem I need your help addressing, and don't make a pun out of it.
Sans chuckled as he stood up, rolling his eyes.
What you need, bro?
I realize that with how low Wuna's stats are, even as a human there will be no glory in capturing her.
Papyrus complained.
It's not enough for her to pretend to be human. She must pretend to be superhuman.
Superhuman?
Wuna asked, confused.
How do I do that?
Sans' chuckle was even louder.
Bro just wants to play dress up with you to make you look like one of his anime characters.
Not so!
Papyrus proclaimed angrily.
Any resemblance you will have to a specific character will be purely coincidental.
Sure it will.
Sans teased.
I can play dress up.
Wuna proclaimed happily.
What you got?
Grinning, Papyrus first pulled out another tough glove.
I got this from the Snowden shop.
He proclaimed happily.
I have the other.
Wuna pointed out, taking it.
I can wear the matched set.
Wuna equipped the tough gloves. Wuna stared at the gloves, surprised that they shaped to her hooves when she put them on.
Next is this bandana.
Papyrus proclaimed, pulling out a bandana that looked like it had muscles drawn on it. He quickly put it on her in place of her hat and ribbon. Wuna de-equipped Cartographer's cap and faded ribbon. Wuna equipped the manly bandana.
And finally, I have found the perfect cape for you.
Papyrus proclaimed happily, pulling out a large apron.
No superhero is complete without a cape.
Accepting this, Wuna put the apron on like a cape. Wuna also equipped the stained apron.
Now your superhero disguise is complete.
Papyrus proclaimed happily.
So, a disguise is all it takes to convince monsters I'm superhuman?
Wuna asked, frowning. Papyrus stopped laughing.
You're right! You must demonstrate your superhuman powers! Come!
Grabbing Wuna, he dashed off.
Papyrus, I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
Sans commented worriedly.
Nonsense!
Papyrus proclaimed eagerly.
How could it possibly go wrong?
Before long, Papyrus had Wuna in a small cave.
Now, Wuna, uppercut this cave wall with all the strength you can bring to bear. That will prove to everyone that you are superhuman.
Wuna nodded, though unsure if this would work. She knew she wasn't that strong physically, but she couldn't bear to disappoint Pappy. Then she had a brilliant idea. She would put her magic behind the punch as well, surely putting all the strength of her tiny body into a single blow. As she dashed forward, she felt Kara talking to someone.
Do you miss the sun, Azriel?
As her blow struck, energy flared from the stone around her neck as her magic was instantly converted to pure physical power. The mountain exploded. Wuna was not the only one staring upward in awe and confusion as the sun streamed freely into the underground. She could hear amazement echoing throughout the monster's civilization as sunlight embraced them all. At first she thought she'd done something amazing, but then she felt her strength growing. Staring up in terror, she saw chunks of pony-carved masonry falling, casting shadows against the sun, followed by pony bodies. She saw Tia amongst them, no force slowing her fall. Wuna screamed in absolute horror. Wuna shot awake in Sans' jacket, still screaming and thrashing around. Moments later, she felt bony hands gripping her, pulling her into a hug.
It's alright.
Sans told her quickly, reassuring her.
It was just a bad dream that never really happened.
Anymore? Kara commented dryly.
Hush!
Sans scolded in his serious voice, making sure only Kara could hear.
She doesn't need that guilt.
Having not heard the exchange, Wuna looked up at Sans, tears in her eyes.
But it felt so real.
I know. Sans reassured her.
I've had dreams like that too, but it's nothing to worry about. They aren't real, they're just dreams.
Once he was certain Wuna had calmed down, he set her down in the snow.
Wait here for me, okay?
Wuna nodded and Sans stepped behind the tree. She never noticed the tough glove vanishing from inside her bags. Sans stepped out from behind another tree right in front of Papyrus, who promptly screamed in a more high-pitched voice than Wuna had.
Sans!
Papyrus gasped out, his hand going to his chest.
I've told you not to come out of nowhere in front of me like that. I'll never get into the royal guard with a shriek of terror like that.
You bought the stuff to dress up Wuna as a superhero?
Sans asked, ignoring Papyrus's question. Papyrus paused. He'd long grown used to how Sans always seemed to know about certain things just before they happened. He'd always passed it off as dreams, and that when he had them it was a bad sign.
Yes?
Papyrus replied.
I was going to dress her up as one of my favorite superheroes.
Give me the bandana and glove.
Sans instructed.
I'll reimburse you for them.
Papyrus blinked.
But why would you...
Papyrus cut himself off as Sans showed his serious expression, the light in his eyes vanishing, revealing empty black pits.
Oh, okay, Sans, but won't you explain what's so bad about playing dress-up with Wuna?
Sans smiled softly as he took the glove and bandana.
Nothing wrong with dressing her up,
he replied reassuringly. He set the two gloves and bandana on the ground. With no more warning than that, Sans countered one of his Gaster blasters, a dragon-slash-goat-like skull-shaped laser cannon, and used it to eradicate the 3 pieces of equipment from existence.
Just not that character.
Papyrus stared in shock. He knew Sans hated using those blasters, though he was never quite certain why. If Sans had called one out to deal with this, it was definitely serious.
But... Cape?
He asked, holding up the apron. Sans smiled, looking completely normal as the Gaster blaster vanished.
That's fine. She'll look real cute in that.
Wuna smiled happily as Sans and Papyrus returned.
Hey!
She greeted happily, rushing up to hug Sans. Papyrus smiled at that. Not that he could wear any expression other than a smile, being a skeleton.
I have something for you, Wuna!
He proclaimed eagerly. He happily pulled out the apron and put it on her.
Ta-da! It's Supermoon!
Wuna equipped the stained apron. Wuna squealed happily, racing around in a circle.
Dun 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 dun! It's Supermoon!
Her new superhero identity banished her nightmares and filled her with determination. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this next chapter of The Moon in the Dark, and if you did, hit that like button and subscribe, and please join me on Discord, on which you can decide on which story I will read to you next. In the meantime, please enjoy your brainwashing! Bye.